Is your washer acting like it's got a mind of its own? Random resets, glitchy display, cycles that don't add up? Most people assume the main control board is shot, and sometimes that's true. But often the board isn't the real problem, it's the victim. I'm David with AppliancePartsPros.com. Today we're going to look at why these boards fail, what's actually going on inside them, and why replacing it without a second thought can set you up to do the same repair twice. Calling it a bad board feels logical because the symptoms feel logical. The washer is a system: door lock, motor, pump, valves, sensors, and the one part that talks to all of them is the main control board. If the machine is doing a bunch of unrelated weird things, the one common link is the board. Also, boards feel fragile. They look like a city of tiny parts, and because they're expensive, they become the villain. It's easy to imagine one microscopic component going bad and taking everything down with it. And yes, sometimes replacing the board truly fixes it, which only reinforces the story that the board just failed. But that's where the trap is, because the board might be the part that finally quits without being the reason the washer had problems in the first place. Inside that plastic housing is a microcontroller, basically a small computer. People assume that's what's failing, but microcontrollers are surprisingly tough. They can run for decades in harsh places: cars, industrial equipment, and outdoor electronics. They don't usually half fail in a dramatic, intermittent way. What fails intermittently is the part of the board that feeds the brain. And that part is not glamorous, it's the power supply. Every control board has to take wall power and turn it into stable, low voltage DC, often 5 volts and 12 volts for the logic, sensors, display, and communication. That conversation happens through a cluster of components that are doing the hardest job on the whole board. They handle heat, they handle electrical noise, they handle tiny spikes and dips in power, and they live in a washer, an environment that is basically a humidity machine attached to a vibration machine. So when a washer resets randomly, or the display glitches, or the board acts possessed, that's often not software. That's brownout behavior, the voltage sagging just enough to make the computer reboot. And the question becomes, why would that voltage sag in a washer that's plugged into the wall? If you've ever seen a failed washer board up close, a lot of them share the same visual story. Not the whole board burnt, not the computer chip cracked in half. It's usually one corner, a darkened patch near a transformer, or a cluster of parts that look a little cooked. Sometimes you'll see a chalky film, greenish corrosion, or tiny rust-colored spots near connectors. Sometimes there's no dramatic change at all. Just a board that acts fine for 10 minutes, then starts glitching as it warms up. That's your hint. Temperature and time matter. The power supply section has components that age in a way the microcontroller doesn't, especially electrolytic capacitors. They're little energy reservoirs that smooth out voltage, and inside them is an electrolyte that slowly changes with heat. Heat speeds up aging. So does ripple current. Basically, the capacitor is doing lots of work constantly. Over time, the capacitor can lose capacitance and gain resistance. And when that happens, the smooth 5 volts turns into a bumpy, noisy, unstable 5 volts. So it reboots, it forgets, it glitches, it locks up. And the wild part is, it can do this only when the washer is working hardest, like when the motor ramps up, the drain pump kicks on, or a valve opens. Those loads create little disturbances. A healthy power supply shrugs them off, a tired one flinches. That's why the same washer can pass a quick test, then fail during the real cycle. It's why it can behave when it's cold, then act up when it's warm. A main control board usually doesn't fail because the washer's brain decided to go bad. It fails because the board's power supply loses its safety margin. And once that margin is gone, perfectly normal things, humidity, vibration, a slightly noisy outlet, a pump starting up, become enough to knock it out. That's also why a replacement board sometimes fails again sooner than you'd expect. If the environment is still harsh, there's moisture creeping in from a dispenser leak or corrosion on a connector, a loose neutral at the outlet, or even just constant heat buildup, the new board is living the same stressful life as the old one. The board was the first part to complain, not the first part to cause trouble. If your front-load washer is pointing to the main control board, the best move is to treat that as a conclusion and then ask one more question: what made it struggle? Before replacing the board, look for the stuff that silently attacks power supply stability. And think about the power feeding the washer. If your lights dim when appliances start, or you're in an older home, the washer may be seeing voltage dips that a tired board can't tolerate anymore. A good surge protector, or better, correcting the supply issue, can keep the new board from being stressed right out of the gate. And finally, if you do replace a control board, do it like a detective, not like a gambler. If there's a leaking dispenser, fix that. If there's corrosion, clean and correct it. If a connector is loose, address it, because the goal isn't just to get the washer running today, it's to give the new board the one thing the old board gradually lost: a calm, stable world to live in. That's why the main control boards failed. Not randomly, not mysteriously, they fail predictably, once you know where to look.